Okay. So we're in Behance and we're going to be building our Behance webpage for our branding project. So this top image that you're seeing, this is an example from another student from last year. This is the hero image at the top. So the image at the top should be just your logo on one of the colors of your color palette. So you can see this has nice contrast. They even put a little drop shadow behind it to give it some depth. You don't have to do that, but it gives it a nice, strong feel. Then the next part is very important. It's the name of the project, logo design, and then description of what it is. Skydive Joshua Tree offers thrill seekers the ultimate experience with incredible views from 13,000 feet above its namesake national park. This logo design combines modern typeface, a retro sticker look, and otherworldly colors that are sure to draw you in. So they're talking about what it is and some of their design rationale, what they decided to do. The next step are things we're going to be pulling off of our mural board. So in other words, we did personas. We're going to put our personas here. So the audience, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Audience goes here, and you've done 2 personas. So you can retake that information you have and put it in here with some real pictures of real people like they did to make it feel more real. Ours were just little templated information I gave you. You can take that information and design it into this page to show who it is that you're designing for. What is their income level? What's their lifestyle? All of the things we put in our personas, that goes here, right? And then you can find a couple pictures of real people that you want to show who would be your customers. The middle section is the company, the name of your company. Where is it located? What do you sell? And tell us a little bit about it. Is there any competition? What are the competition for your company? So whatever you can tell us about your company goes in the middle. The last is your design direction. This is your brand attributes, the things you've decided upon, your color palette, your typefaces, any iconography you use to develop, and the parts to your final logo. Then you're going to go into the process. And here I would put, this person doesn't have it, but I would put a subhead that's 20 sketches. And we did them according to the different types of logos that there are. So you don't have to put all 20, but you should definitely put a good amount of sketches. And the more the better, I think. People really want to see your process. So your sketches go next. Then the development of your design. All the iterations. It's not just boom and I'm done. You have to show all the things you looked at. What are the different typeface choices you made? What are the different iterations you made on that final design? Those would all go here. This is your digital rough section. Excuse me. Here you can see they've done the color palette and they've pulled it out with the actual CMYK, RGB, and hex numbers are called out. Here's the full typefaces of the typefaces that are going to go along with your brand. So here they're using Acumen Condensed Medium. They show the whole alphabet and the numbers. Acumen Condensed, full alphabet, and the numbers, upper and lowercase. Showing the logo, we did 5 colorways of our logo. You don't have to necessarily show all 5, but you should show a couple different colorways of how does your logo look in the different colors of your palette. And then the final application. So you're going to have mock-ups. I asked you to do a minimum of 3 mock-ups. So here it is. So here you can see this person used a mock-up of a person in the t-shirt, which I always think looks great. And you can see the shadowing and stuff. So this is a true mock-up. It's not just a logo floating on top of a t-shirt, it's a mock-up. So there's a mock-up, there's a water bottle mock-up, a t-shirt mock-up, and a sticker mock-up. So those are their 3 mock-ups. You need to have at least 3 mock-ups in your presentation. Those are their 3. Okay. Then the other thing I want to point out is when we get to the very bottom, is all the tags. So what you're going to want to be doing is talk about the tools you use: Adobe Illustrator, graphic design. You need to have the tag graphic design 1 Decker, because I'll be your instructor. So it's graphic design 1 is the class, Decker is your instructor, graphic design COD, and portfolio SP23. And that's because everything we do for both fall and spring semester goes into one portfolio show, and that will be in the spring 23 portfolio show. So these 3 tags must be included in your Behance: portfolio SP23, graphic design COD, and graphic design 1 Decker. Okay, any questions? Yes, Angelica.
I'm not sure if you saw the chat, but how many
I did not.
mockups can we have?
3.
No, we can't have more.
How many do you want to have? You don't want to have too many because it's going to get too long.
Also, do we also have to like paste in, like, for example, like product, like our like fake products or something, like mock products or something? That makes sense. Like, for example, like if I'm selling rings, like as my company is, would I like put like stock images of rings, or no, not necessary? Okay.
No. Mm-mm. We're just worrying about the branding.
All right.
Yeah, just do your 3 mock-ups. That's all it needs to be. Important. So let's look at our InDesign. So we're going to go in, our Illustrator, sorry. We're in Illustrator. This is what the mock-up looks like. Notice how each one of these sections is a gray rectangle. I don't want to see gray rectangles on any of your designs. That's just showing you the placement of the different sections, okay? If we notice at the example I just showed, there's no gray. They're using the color palette they developed for the design. Each section is colored with the color palette based on the design that they're using, okay? Yours should be exactly the same. So that's what that looks like when it's all completed. We're going to go into our Illustrator file, and this is the file you have. You have this template. So the hero image, what goes in our hero image? You guys tell me. What do we want to put up here in the hero image?
Like a preview of the name and the
Logo.
brand name.
The logo. The actual finished logo. You want to put the finished logo up here. The real logo, not just the name, but the actual logo. And then you want to pick one of the colors from your color palette and put that in as a background, and then put your finished logo in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Description header. What does that mean? What goes here in this section?
The name of the brand and like the
Right.
logo design, like the project and stuff.
Right. The project information. Exactly. So you want to put the name of it, logo design, the description, and your design rationale.
Are we allowed to change the font to make it look more like cohesive?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
you can definitely choose the typeface you're using. That's your secondary typeface that you chose. Okay. But don't use your logo typeface. Use a typeface that's complementing your logo. Okay. You still want it to be able to be read. Okay. And then the next thing is once you have this, I'm going to copy this and bring it down because I want to start creating headers for each one of my sections. So for example, I want this to show sketches, right? So I'm going to put a header here that says sketches. And I might do, so if we go back to this design, they started with audience, company, and design direction. So we can look at this section and we can go audience, design. Or audience company, sorry, company and design direction. Oh, actually, you can use our mood boards. I just realized we didn't include our mood boards. The design direction could be your mood board. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it exactly in the 3 categories, but actually, I think the design direction is going to be more of our mood board. That's going to be your mood board. We can call this, we can even call it mood board. So if we go over to our mural, where's mural? So if we go over to our mural, you can basically, if you have, so if when we look at our mural, you want to take, this is all was prompts for you. So these things you should come off. This thing where it says fonts and color and texture and photos, graphic styles, art, and other inspiration. Those are just prompts for you. You want to take those out and have your full mood board like this. You can then take, it's still sharing the screen, isn't it? I think it is, yeah. And Jocko, do you have your hand up from before or do you have a question?
Sorry, from before.
Okay. So once you want to come over here to your mural board and copy this mood board. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to download and you want to go to selection. And then it's going to say select an area to download. So my area to download is going to be, I'm going to take and select my mood board as one file, just like this. And I'm going to say, select this area to download. And then I can save it as, don't save it as a PDF file because you're going to want it to be a PNG image. So make it a PNG image. We've done the selection and then hit download. Now it's downloading this image and I can then add that up to my Illustrator file. Okay, so now I've downloaded that. So if I go over here to Illustrator, I can now go File, Place, and go to my downloads. And here's Cooper's mood board, and I can say Place. Comes in, I can select it, and boom, there's my mood board. I can decide to have it be a piece of it, or I can say, you know what, I actually want my mood board to kind of really show. So maybe I make this a full length. And for right here, I say, okay. So here's my mood board. And I'm going to make that a separate section. I'm going to bring that down here. Bring this my mood board. I'm going to make my background, again, one of my image colors from my color palette. I'm going to make that, I think, white. All right, so there's my mood board. Now I'm going to do my same thing. I'm going to go back to my mural board and I have all my information here of what I'm going to be doing. So I can say, here's my information for my personas. So I can use my quote. I can put this information into sentence form, find a couple images of what Kelly and Felix might look like as people and show them in here and call this my target audience. So I can start, make a copy of this and say audience. Right, and then plug in who my audience is. So you have everything on your mural board. You're just redesigning it into a portfolio page. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can come here, you can show your SWOT. You can show your naming if you want, your mural board. You definitely want to show your sketches, and you want to show them so they can be really as clean as they can be and seen. You want to go in and show your digital roughs, what you've been doing, final chosen color palette, your typefaces once you have those put in, and then until you get to your final designs, and then of course your 3 mock-ups. So any questions as we're starting to build out our files? Some things might come as, like, for example, we might need more space. For example, there's an extra one here, but you might need more than that. If you need more space, the way you do that is you go object, or I'm sorry. Is it object? I think I have to not select anything. No, it's not. That's why am I having a moment? I'm in Illustrator. I want to change my canvas size. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, I know why. So here's our artboard. We can make our artboard bigger. Thinking of so you can pull it down and make your artboard as long as you want it. So if you want to make your artboard longer, you just pull it down and it can make it longer. You can then take it's making another artboard. So we have this one. Actually, I don't want to. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So we're just bringing this down longer. And then you can take these sections and copy and paste them and bring them down to continue as many, sections as you might need. And again, you can color these sections, any color that makes sense for your design. Okay. So you want to be walking us through basically the entire process, much like you have on the mural board. You want to bring the information that you designed here on mural, and you want to tell the story of this design process on your Behance portfolio page. And this is what our final, what we will be presenting on Monday for our final exam. So this is you're going to be, once you have this all done, we're going to be saving it out. And so you can save it all as, and I'm going to just remind you where all the instructions are. Let me do that real quick before we get too far ahead. So up on our Blackboard, I have all of the folder and information to create your Behance, and the guidelines are printed out in a PDF. Here they are. I'm going to share that with you right now. And the main things is, once you've designed it and everything is ready to go, you're going to make sure you're going to do a couple things. So the first part is, like, tell that story of your project. What was the problem you're solving? What process did you follow? What was your final solution? You want to make sure you have that hero intro image that shows on the top of the page, the paragraph telling us about the project. You want your sketches, your mood boards, your personas, all the information we used. Your brand guidelines, in other words, your color palettes, your typefaces, your final designs, your mock-ups. And the images are going to be saved out as JPEG. And that's what we recommend, JPEGs. GIF if it was a GIF animation, but we're not really doing GIF animations for this. So we're just going to save ours as JPEGs. And here's the image dimensions, and this is the template. So as long as you're using the template, you'll be fine. We recommend up to 1 megabyte for optimal loading and viewing speeds, high quality images up to 10 megabytes per images. You want to preview your pages to make sure that it doesn't take too long to preview, because you might want to break this into pieces. Remember, we're working in RGB. This is a screen document, so you want to be working in RGB. And if it's not previewing good, we might need to reduce the file size, convert the image type, and maybe we have to make sure that you're using the right color space. Couple key things. We are actually going to be spring 23. This is last year's document. I don't have a revised one. So remember, even though this document says 22, we're actually going to be 23. So it'll be our name, Graphic Design 1, and it's going to be Decker. Spring 23 and Graphic Design COD. Those are 3 universal tags that have to be on this document. In addition, you can add tags like identity, logo, because we did both identity and logo in this project. Okay, and then this walks you through how to add the tags on Behance. Once you're setting up your Behance page, you need to click on the settings, and that's where you're going to set up the project tags, add tools, and select categories. Number 5 is very important because you're going to add co-owners and credits and more. And the co-owner is Graphic Design COD. All right, so that keeps all of our COD student work together. And that's what's important, is you make sure you include that co-owner of Graphic Design COD. Make sure you're available to everyone. Display this to everyone. And you also want to make sure you include the company, brand, and school, College of DuPage, so that when we post College of DuPage, it comes up. And then you can hit done. Okay, any questions about these guidelines for this project? Are you all with me here yet? Am I talking to myself? I don't know.
Oh, I'm here. After submitting it, we don't have to upload it to Blackboard, right?
You do need to include the link.
Okay. That makes
The
sense.
link for this to the Blackboard for our project 6. Okay.
So with Behance, I was trying to upload an image like a few days ago just to see to get myself used to the platform, and with the template that you were giving us that we were just going over, if I
Yes.
save that as a PNG, would it be able to upload it? Because I had so much trouble.
Can't be a PNG. That's the problem.
What file would you prefer us to upload it as on Behance?
Let me show you. It said it right here. I'm just going to put it up so everyone can see it. So make sure you are saving it as
Oh, just JPEG. Okay.
JPEG.
I
Recommended.
thought you meant the images. Okay, yeah. I'll
all of these are images. So everything that we're doing is an image. So it's a JPEG.
Okay.
And it has to be a JPEG because why? Do you know what a JPEG is compared to a PSD?
not compared to a PSG. No.
So PSD, right, is Photoshop document, is the file we're making in Photoshop. That's a very big file. That's an editable file in Photoshop. JPEG is a compressed file. It's compressing it to make it a smaller file size so it can be used on the web.
Yeah.
So the reason you couldn't upload that is the file was way too big.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was really frustrated because it like was just loading and it just wouldn't wouldn't load at all. So I'll do that next.
Okay. And did you see this document and everything in there so that you have it available? So you guys make sure you're looking at it.
I did. Yeah, I went
JPEG.
over it. That's what I was referencing when I was working on the project last week or this week, I guess.
Okay. So JPEG and making sure your width is the same size as the file, which is 1400 pixels. You can also break the project into smaller images. The recommended size is 1400 pixels width and 900 pixels high. And so how you do that, for example, if you want to have just this hero image, let me do something here real quick. Let me just make a hero image. Let me place a logo on it. Desktop, place. Okay, so here's my hero image, right? I have two items. I'm going to hold my shift key down, select both. So they're both selected. I can go File, Export, Selection. And I can choose just to select these two pieces so that it's its own document. If I want to break this into each section into its own upload, I can do that. So I can say, I want to do asset 3, and I can say where to put it. I can say how to save it. I'm going to say JPEG. I can say clear that out. I don't want it to be cookbook. I don't know why it says that. Anyway, so I can make those adjustments. I don't want to open it. I'm going to create a subfolder. I'm going to call it portfolio. Okay. Oop, I didn't select it. Okay, I got to have it selected. And then I'm going to say export asset. Okay, and then if I go on to my desktop, I should now have if I can find it. This is when I have too many files on my desktop. There we go. I'm going to make a folder. File, new folder. Behance. All right, let's do it again. Where can you access them just in case? Angelica, what do you mean? Where can you access what?
The checklist of like all the requirements and stuff.
Oh, they're all in the Google Drive for the Behance templates that I gave you.
Okay.
Everything's in the Google Drive.
I have a
So I'm going to go
question.
export selection.
Sorry, where is this Google Drive, by the way?
It's in our weekly module. It's
Okay.
in last week's and this week's weekly module. It's in both.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right. I'm not going to create subfolders. I'm going to put it in export to, that's where it's going somewhere crazy. Oh, I see where it went. It went there. Okay, let's put it on desktop, Behance, choose, export asset. Hey, Maddie, do you have a question?
Yeah, excuse me. So on Behance, when you were looking at the College of Drew page entries, is there any tags we can look up for inspiration aside from the video that were given? Like when we were reviewing a previous student's
Yeah,
think
so
it
the
was-
tag you want to use, if you want to look at other people in this class that have taken this class,
yeah,
all you're doing is doing exactly the same tag that I'm asking you to do.
okay. And then we can just find them there.
Exactly. So you use the
Okay.
exact same tags that you're going to be putting on. So in other words, you want to go onto Behance, right? And then you want to go into your school. So discover. Okay. Let's see. So we go into Behance. Where do I get to the school? Okay, here we go. So you go onto Behance and you click on the actual Behance. You can then go in and search projects. And then you start with schools and you type in College of DuPage. College of DuPage. So you want to start there first, put the school in. Now, everything that's coming up below me is all College of DuPage. Everything that I'm seeing is College of DuPage. Okay. But I want to make it even more specific by putting graphic design 1. Now, graphic design 1 is showing up. Now, it's not everyone tags things correctly, so it might not all be graphic design 1. You're going to have to look through them a little bit. Here's one. This is, I know, a graphic design 1. Mary's Kitchen. There's their sketches, the logo, color variations, typeface, color palette, mock-ups. There's their 3 mock-ups. Done. Okay. So that's one. I think you're going to see a lot that say Mary's Kitchen because there's an instructor that gives people the actual logo that they have to design. So here's the sketching. There's their mock-ups. Let's see. Just a mock-up video, I guess. But the reason I only want you to do 3 mock-ups is because I don't want it to be about the mock-ups. I want the bulk of your portfolio to be about the design and talking us about the design, the story you're telling about the design, showing us the work you did. So I don't want to see more than 3 mock-ups for that reason. This is, I think, for a website class. Yeah, this is a website class. This isn't design. So even though I put in graphic design 1, these are not all graphic design 1 classes. So, yeah, so there you have it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if there's a way.
I found a decent amount of examples that I could work with just from the tag.
But yeah, but I mean, you can look through here and see what you can find. The main thing is you want to include your full story of what you're doing, right? Everything that we did on that mock-up on mural, you want to incorporate into this portfolio page. So Maddie, you were having an issue with uploading. So let's have you practice in uploading an image and getting it onto Behance to make sure you're understanding how to upload correctly onto Behance. Do you want to try uploading just a section? Do you want to try uploading the full page? Where are you at with your design?
Let me pull up it real.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing so we can see yours.